Okay, I'm with three longtime Rockstar VIP members in this video, Andy Tran from Suite Editions, Gordon Aitken, and Grainne Aitken. And in this video, we're gonna show you how they took their 4-level backsplit, added a second unit, split the house in half, made this amazing project, and took the income from $1,780 or $1,800 up to $5,000 a month. It's an amazing project for an affordable renovation as well. We're gonna check it all out. At the end of the video, we'll share the numbers and show you a tour of this full property.
All right, so we're on the main level. Let's check it out.
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Grainne and Gordon, good to see you again. Here we are at your other property. This one is a split level home, so totally different. There were aspects of this that were already completed. This one is a totally different rental because you did both units, but portions were finished as we mentioned, and so the approach was different. But the idea is that we want to get two nice legal units that are fully compliant and safe and ready to move in. This one here is in the city of Kitchener, where earlier we were in Waterloo, but obviously the same region, same market, and definitely very high demand. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, great.
Lovely. So shall we take a look?
Yeah, let's go inside and take a look.
Okay. So this is the entrance to. This was always the entrance to the home, the main floor, and you'll see right here. It's actually a backsplit, so it has 4 levels. What we've done is we have taken the main floor and the upper level as one apartment, and then the lower 2 levels are a second apartment.
Yeah, so we've owned this property for about 10 years. It was originally a single family home and we converted it. It was a huge home. It's like 6 bedrooms. So we converted it into 3 and 3, as you'll see. So this was initially the main lounge, and it had an open plan kitchen. We put in an island here. Instead of putting in a new kitchen, we took the revolutionary step for us of actually painting the old kitchen. I think it doesn't look too bad at all. But got some fancy lighting, just makes it look very spacious. This particular house has a skylight above the kitchen, which gives an open feel to the whole thing. And initially, this whole area, there was a stairway going down into the back level of the backsplit, and across here there were oak balustrades. We completely closed this wall off. We put in safe and sound. We put in sonopan in the wall just to contain the sound between the 2 apartments. We were very conscious of the sounds between the 2 apartments, and so unlike other properties that we'd done where we'd actually put in new ceilings, in this one we retrofitted, so we put the sonopan underneath the flooring to contain the sound transference between here and the apartment below. We wanted to have this really nice stairway with this was originally oak. We painted this back to black with the white balustrades, but because we didn't have the ability to put insulation under sound insulation, we put extra thick carpeting here, and underneath we put sonopan. In the other apartment we put sonopan and 5/8 drywall so that the sound wouldn't travel between the 2 of them. It's worked very well.
You know, this is our 3rd project, so we've learned a lot along the way. And what our goal here was, you know, to get in and out. We kind of called it quick and dirty. There's nothing dirty about this project, but we've tried to minimize any redoing of things, keep as much existing as we can, and just freshen it up so that we've got a brand new livable unit upstairs, and then with obviously the legal duplexing downstairs. So upstairs here, the main things that we've done is we have split the hydro, so there's a panel now for this main unit here in the living space. Everything was rewired there to connect so that the tenants upstairs can have total control over their own hydro bill, which is the way we like it. We like to have tenants be responsible for their own hydro.
The other thing is, someone switches trips a breaker because they had the microwave and the toaster on at the same time. I always encourage people, if you can install a panel in that unit, just they don't have to go knocking the door downstairs, right? So this is beautiful, and it's flush with the wall, so very easily if they want to hang a picture over this, as long as they remember where the panel was.
That's right, exactly. You need to have access in front for sure.
And something we were conscious of is because this place actually had 200 amp supply, which was amazing. But we're looking now towards the future, and people actually have their own cars, electric cars. And it just so happens this particular apartment has been rented to somebody with an electric car. And so they can have their car charging on their hydro bill, so we'd split the hydro completely. So that was very thoughtful. And even though it's 100 amp supply, just, we can still have a simple car charger here as well.
So the other thing we had to do as part of the permitting process, each unit has to have its own standalone laundry. So we have converted a closet into a laundry space, and it's nicely situated in behind a door as well. So that's also the door into the garage. So we had to obviously bring up the water lines from the basement.
And that was a big thing, because being a backsplit, the front part was, regular wooden flooring, but underneath the back unit was concrete. So a lot of that, when we had to put the water in, and you'll see later, we actually had to basically drill the flooring. And at one time it looked like a scene from World War I battlefield, but we'll see that later on.
Yeah, this is a perfect spot for the laundry as well. Like, it's kind of tucked away. It's very similar to a mudroom in a lot of newer homes, right? You have that direct access from the garage. It's a lot of space here. You can basically store laundry here as well.
That's right.
Yeah. That's perfect. Shall we have a look up the stairs?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is a nice, spacious 3-bedroom, 1-bath. And the master is back on the left-hand side. It has, tons of closet space. So really here, we painted, we floored. And when I say we, I mean we. Gordon and I, this is what we did. We spent the last year and a half, out with paint guns and paint rollers. We sprayed the ceilings. In fact, with the spraying, we were able to spray this entire place in 40 minutes. So, with the ceilings.
The masking took 2 days.
So that was another skill we learned.
Exactly, yeah.
So upstairs here, it's mostly a refresh and a redo, and obviously we also have to install the interconnected smoke.
That's right. Yeah. So the 2 apartments, actually, one goes up off here, the apartment downstairs it goes off as well, and that was part of the code that we had to.
Yeah. So sometimes with the smoke alarms, if we have a full separation, if we have a full 30-minute separation, typically with the municipalities, they don't require them to be interconnected between the units, only within the units. But in this case, we utilized the existing ceiling fire separation. So the way that it was done differently was that the code required us to interconnect the smoke alarms in between the units as well, so that if someone is, one of them is set off in one unit, the occupant from the other adjacent unit is notified.
That's right, yeah. This is a good place to see what we've done in the backyard. We've given each of the tenants an outdoor space, and we have put in a new fence and divided it so that each unit has its own private area.
Initially there was a garden shed there, so we just used the base of it to build a deck to give them their own space. So they can access that from the side of the house, and they've also got the deck out the front of the house as well. So a good use of the recreational area.
Yeah, we like to think about what it's going to be like to live in the spaces that we create. Having previously just done single family homes, it was a little bit of a game changer for us. How is it going to be people living in proximity to each other? So our goal has been to create places that, the tenants can get on with each other. And our first project, actually, we've had tenants there for over a year and a half, and it's gone very, very smoothly. They've worked with each other, to make a very pleasant living experience. So that was a good experience.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for showing us the main unit. Why don't we go check out the star of the show, which is the lower unit. Perfect. Let's do that. Okay.
So we started off by adding a nice concrete walkway. And this actually wasn't part of the permit, it wasn't necessary, but again, we went above and beyond to try and improve the living experience by adding this.
Yeah, it's just a nice feature, and it's also for safety as well, right? Like, the walkways are very important.
Yeah. Actually, the city said we could have grass here. I don't know if that would have been very practical, but...
Nice little drain here for the downspout.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've a couple steps down, but this is the entrance, so it's not really much of a
walk
basement.
down, it's not so much.
Doesn't feel like a basement at all. It's really just a step down.
Yeah, this was sliding doors before, so we picked up these double doors in an auction again, and at a good price, and they work very well for...
I gotta find out where that auction is. I gotta go there myself.
You'll hear us mention it quite a lot. Okay.
All right. Wow. Totally different.
Yeah. So if you can remember where we were in the kitchen, we're now back to back with the kitchen wall here. And where the fridge is, there was a stairs down into this sunken living space. one of the nice features of this space is we've got a gas fireplace, and that's a nice wow factor for
Exactly, because the
tenants.
apartment above has access to the control panel that controls, should I say,
Yeah.
the temperature control. And so if the apartment at the back loses a little bit of heat, then we can put on a fire. They got the access to that. Yeah.
So we had to install a brand new kitchen. And as part of that, we went around in a lot of circles trying to figure out the design for this. Even the design of the entire apartment, never mind the kitchen, how many bedrooms to include, where to put the kitchen. We had the kitchen in the basement at one point, and then we had it back up here. And in the end, we went with this, and again, we've got a nice window here, so we put the sink in the window. And we toyed with what size, whether to put an island or not. So in the end, what we went with was, I think the original design, Andy, actually had like a peninsula coming out from here. And we were struggling with all the appliances, and we went with this. It's actually a movable island. So two things. Number one, it doesn't need to have any power. It doesn't have to have an outlet. And it can also, the tenant can decide how much kitchen and how much living space they want to have. So,
And I mean, it is completely removable. I don't know how practical it would be, but you could actually remove this and have it, because there was that kind of, what do we do? Do we give more to living? Do we give more to kitchen? Do we have an integration between the two? And I think that's what we're trying to do here.
Some of these appliances we actually picked up on Marketplace, really, really nice, high end, not your standard entry level. So, so that was one
I think
of
that was like $300.
I know, yeah. And again, brand new kitchen. So this was the company that we have now developed a relationship with, and we can just, custom order whatever cabinets we wish.
Yeah, I mean, the actual cabinets for this particular, maybe $4,000 for the cabinets for this particular kitchen, which is really good. They're all dovetail joints, they're all soft closing doors, and they're painted units.
And we have dinner, we have our Lazy Susan in the corner. I always have to have a Lazy Susan in the kitchen.
Okay, so it was your idea for Lazy Susan all the time, and for you, you're agnostic, like you're indifferent about it?
Scottish mentality, cost-cutting guy, and she's the
Not another bloody Lazy Susan. Yeah. This was originally another bedroom, and what we've done is we have made it a little smaller and created a bathroom instead.
Yeah. But that meant channeling the whole floor
That's
out
right.
as well to do that. But it was well worth it at the end of the day.
And this one we've gone for the bath, because in the basement there's already an existing bathroom with a shower in there, so we decided to add the bathroom. If it's going to be a small family, they do appreciate having a bath as well as a shower.
And all this is above grade, so when you see it, it is a basement, but it's a basement on 2 levels. Being the back split here, you've got big, light, spacious area, big, full windows above grade, and it could actually be a single apartment upstairs
even if you
wanted.
never went downstairs, you've got a really nice 1-bed apartment right here.
Yeah, and it can be either a 1-bedroom apartment with separate space for people to have visitors, or it can be sleeping downstairs with an office upstairs. There's all sorts of variations that you can do.
Yeah, this would make a really nice home office actually, again, because you've got the nice bright windows, and I've got the closet space there too.
Yeah. No, absolutely. With these split levels, you have that.
It's so versatile.
Upper level that is, your living room and kitchen, where they're going to be spending most of their waking hours, and then your office as well. And then when you're sleeping, it doesn't matter, right? You're in the lower level, right? You want it dark anyways, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we really reused as much as we could here, and even like the doors, we were able to repurpose. So we didn't have to replace any doors. We just replaced all the hardware. So there we go.
All right, let's go downstairs.
Go downstairs. So this,
of course.
as we've said before, this was already fully finished. There was a rec room down here. What we've done is we have added a wall on the left-hand side to create a large master bedroom. Again, we have floored everything, and this is great with great closet space and windows. Actually, now that I'm here, one of the challenges we had, because I know you're going to ask us about the challenges, but most of our challenges on this project somehow had a water theme to them. So in here we had we switched on the water at one point, and I just heard this gushing sound. I came in here, and there was actually water flowing out of that light fixture. And we have water lines going, above here, because our kitchen is now over in this corner. So we have water lines coming from back here. What had happened is somebody had drilled through a water line and didn't realize. And that's one of the challenges with having, a finished, a space that's already finished compared to an empty place like our previous project. So here, we kept saying to everybody, because obviously like the plumber's like, oh, I'll just, make a hole here and I'll just blow out that wall. And we're like, no, we want to try and keep everything as much as possible. We didn't want to have to do all the ceilings again. So, that is the challenge. You can't see what's behind all the walls.
Yeah, and this whole ceiling here, there was there was trapdoors everywhere at one time just to get into water supplies. Now it's all been completely finished and skinned and painted, but there's also access there too.
Whilst we didn't get new drywall or anything, we did have our guy do, skim all the ceilings.
Yeah, and this wall as well is a brand new wall that was put in, because this was an open area rec room before.
This hadn't changed. So again, back to that sort of quick and dirty, this was already existing. So the nice thing about it was with our inspector, and we also did a meet and greet at the beginning of the project, which, really set us in good stead, I think, because we had, this particular inspector, we were able to call up, he would call us back, he would answer, we had a very good working relationship with him. And on that first meeting, he we knew a lot about already. We had gone through 2 projects already, so we knew what was expected. So we were asking him all the questions. When it came to egress, he was like, well, that window, you can probably pull that window out. And that saved us so much, because, we may not have realized that particular window style, you can actually, shove it up and open it out.
And they were okay with that. We didn't have to put in a special egress window. All I had to be able to do was just to be able to lift the window out. And you would do that for cleaning purposes anyway. So
all we had to do was just extend
the window well.
So there's something where it's a little bit of a interpretation issue based on the particular city, the inspector, because some inspectors will say because it's a sliding window, they can only count one side. So those are the kind of the nuances you need to understand. So basically, I think I would want to inform the audience that it's very important that you understand that particular municipality and speak to the inspector to see what their expectations are, what the plan's examinations expectations are, and don't rely on kind of what we did here to assess what you've done. You really kind of, every situation is a little bit unique. Yeah.
Also, when it comes to pot lights, there's different, interpretations of the rules, whether, we were able to use, pot lights that had the fire
separation, yeah.
So we were able to use them. We did not have to, build a whole castle around them.
There was an existing shower room here. In fact, I'll just go to the
furnace room.
Let's go. Just go to the furnace room first. No,
you got too many projects going on, Gordon. You don't remember where the bathrooms are located.
I don't remember that. So we put in brand new laundry here as well. This was we'd originally put in a furnace here, brand new furnace a couple of years ago. So this is the furnace room, and we just basically put the washing machines and tumble dryer in there as well.
The panel for downstairs is right here in behind.
Exactly, yeah, this is the access to the panel. So above here obviously was the panel that's in the main living room in the top unit. So
we've also put in the sprinkler system here so that we wouldn't have to do the fire separation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I know we had to do quite a bit of moving things around with the bathroom and the furnace room here to make everything work.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was the most challenging in the design phase, because we had we had so many options and so many limitations. And I think with every project we've started with a goal, and our goal here was to keep it simple, to reduce the cost, and so when it came to that, anytime we wanted to move lots of things, we tried to avoid it. And because ideally we would have a bigger bathroom, but that would have meant moving a hell of a lot of stuff.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
So back here we have, so we have not split the water. We just have one water supply. We've installed a larger water heater because of the capacities for the entire house. And this is a rental actually, and this is with gas. And then we've also increased the size of the water softener. We have got the ability to shut off the water supply between top and bottom, but we just don't have, we haven't.
And that's a requirement as well, that they're able to do that. Yeah, that's a very important part, because we've done a few projects so far, and all the rest of them, apart from the actual heating, we'd actually split the hydro, split the water. Here we haven't split we split the hydro, so they both got separate bills, but we haven't split the water and the heating, so that'll be split 50-50. And because the apartments are similar in size, then it was quite an easy split,
Yeah, and we're also going to go with a similar tenant profile ideally, so that there'd be a similar usage top and bottom, so there won't be any arguments. This is quite a small bathroom. This was the second bathroom already existing in the house as in its entirety. So we have we've just upgraded the vanity here and added a nice mirror. And other than that, you know, a fresh coat of paint can do so much. It just brightens it all up, and you know, the new flooring. So.
Okay, thanks so much, guys, again for showing us this property. This one's amazing. Split level home, 2 separate units entirely, and it feels like 2 separate homes, like different entrances and everything. So yeah, thanks for showing us. Now the most important part is we're going to get into the numbers, some of the nitty-gritty details. We have Anthony again asking all the hard questions.
Yeah. Cool. So like, what motivated you guys to take on this project? You had it before as a single family home. Why did you decide to take this on, and what value have you gotten from it?
Yeah, good question, Anthony. I mean, back in early 2022, we were away on vacation. We were sort of trying to figure out, you know, when you step away from your day-to-day life, it gives you an opportunity to think about, you know, the future and how you want it to look. And you know, we love traveling, and we wanted to do more of it. We wanted
That's our why.
Yeah,
it is really. And
you know, in order to do that, we need to be able to start generating an income when we're not physically present. So that whole like passive income thing is where it comes into its own. We started real estate, you know, back in 2012, and at that time we thought of it being as our future, our pensions, the someday, one day kind of idea. Mm-hmm. And you know, back in that time in 2022, it says, well, why not make that sooner rather than later? So we reevaluated our portfolio, and you know, most of our properties were, you know, around about just about breaking even on a monthly basis, and we figured, you know, this has opportunity to generate a passive income for us every month. This project in particular, you know, we saw the value in that. In fact, after speaking with our coach at Rockstar, Mike DeZormo, like, he gave us, you know, that whole doing a backsplit is a really, really good idea. And partnering with you, Andy, you had done this before, and you know, you were able to allay our fears about what might be involved. So that was key to it. We did have tenants in here. We loved those tenants. They were fantastic tenants. They always had a goal to own their own home, and when we discussed with them, you know, we may be redeveloping it. You know, they were sad, obviously, but you know, we spoke with them and figured out what their goals were, and we were able to then put them in touch with a mortgage broker, and they were able to buy their own home, which they didn't realize they were able to do. So that was a nice part of that story too. You know, so we were able to then have this vacant occupancy and to be able to develop it. So.
But at that time, we were actually being these people had been here. These tenants had been there for 10 years, and they were lovely tenants. They were also paying below market rent, and that was difficult for us because we couldn't invest the money to renovate that property because the property itself was not generating enough income to renovate. And so being able to do that, we could actually move on and do this particular project. And we changed maybe from 1800, which we started off, and you'd asked about the figures. We were getting about 1790, I think, for the rent for this property at this time. And we've changed it over. The two apartments now, the upstairs and downstairs being of equal size, are 2,500 a month. So we've gone from 1,800 rent to 5,000 in rent, just by doing a simple renovation. And the renovation itself, the costs, I think, were about 110,000 in total. So it was a no-brainer for us. And I think other people who have the ability to do this should look at this very, very seriously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, those are great numbers in terms of what it costed you. Yeah. You know, if I were to give estimates on numbers, it would definitely come in higher, but that's under the assumption that, you know, they're just letting it, you know, hands off and hiring a general contractor or a construction manager to handle everything. Whereas you know, you're able to save a little bit of money by kind of rolling up your sleeves and putting in that elbow grease. Right. Yes. I mean, the other big benefit is sweat equity. Yeah. So the other big thing is that, you know, not only are you able to save some money, but you've obviously learned a lot of lessons along the way, and that is equity itself, right?
That's huge. Yeah, very much so. And you know, the first project, and we did this with you, and there was a lot of hand-holding going on at the time, and both yourself and your team were amazing. And we were answering very good. Already done your course, which is very enlightening, and then to have sort of hands-on working with you. It was amazing. And we came to the second project, we had answers, but we had questions, but there weren't as many, and they were in different subjects. And by the time we got to the third one here, it was just plain sailing. It was great to have a safety net if we needed it, but yeah, we really enjoyed the journey.
Yeah. No, it was an incredible experience working with you guys. It was 3 projects, so obviously something went right. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, you know, it's you know, as I mentioned earlier, it's always tough during that initial stage or during your you know, while you're doing the renovations and construction. But in the end, it's always worth it.
Yeah. I think as well, you know, there are so many opportunities right now with the way the market is. There's so many challenges with trying to make, you know, real investment work, you know, certainly in the short term and that whole cash flow. So being able to repurpose either an existing or a new property like we did with our previous project, you know, is gold.
Definitely have to be creative in this market.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. So you have another question, Anthony?
Yeah, so what were some of the key lessons and takeaways from this project?
You know, the first and main thing we learned with this project was that, you know, there can be a simpler, easier way to do things. Try to reuse what's existing, and it makes the project faster and definitely saves on costs. So the cost for this project was way, way, way lower than our first project, where we really, you know, we let things get out of hand a little bit. We went, you know, with all of the finishes, which are not totally necessary for a rental property. So that was our first big learn. On top of that, I think having, you know, the right team. I mean, that's what you hear all the time, but really, really so important to be able to have people that you trust to do the job. And, you know, things happen, people make mistakes, and, you know, we've had that too. We've had our challenges, you know, but in all cases, we were able to overcome them together with our team of experienced contractors. So that was the other one.
Yeah, I think building relationships with certain companies was key to this. You know, being able to work with people on a day-to-day basis. And not only was it cut down a little bit. Now I understand if you can give a project over and it's not for everybody to be hands-on. We found the benefit of being hands-on is that we could actually work with the contractors, and there wasn't so much of an us and them. They saw our problems, we saw their problems, we worked together and we solved them. And I think that was a key part of our project. Yeah.
I think setting expectations up front with the city to make sure that, you know, the end result is, you know, is safe and it, you know, falls under all of the regulations for the particular municipality is also key. So, you know, knowing what's expected and to be able to ask those questions.
I think one thing we found, and it's totally away from what we were talking about here just now, but one of the challenges was parking. And you know, we have like 2 parking spaces, and to have a 3-bedroom apartment and 1 parking space was always a bit of a challenge. Different municipalities have different ideas of how much space you can give over to parking within the building. But here, being a newer subdivision, there was space was a real premium, and we still have challenges with getting the right people with only 1 car. That would be one challenge that we'd have. So, we find people eventually, so it's not the end of the world, but they're just fewer on the ground than people who have 2 cars.
Yeah.
So
not everyone is riding Uber yet.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Okay, so thank you for sharing that. I mean, those are very valuable lessons. That's going to be very valuable for, you know, our audience and Rockstar's audience. And yeah, so very grateful that you're willing to share this. These are all golden nuggets that people can use. And yeah, I understand that, well, now that you've completed 3 projects, you may be providing services, consultation services for folks, investors, homeowners that may want to get into this. And yeah, perhaps we can share your information if that's something you're interested in doing. I think that there's going to be a lot of value for people to reach out to you and potentially hire you to assist with consultation services for these projects. And the great thing is that you've already done a bunch of them, and not only a bunch of them, but they're all a little bit different. So you have a range of experience. You've worked with 2 municipalities here in the Tri-City area. You know the market here, and I think that's going to be very beneficial for people. So if anyone's interested in working with Grainne and Gordon and learning about this process, they do have services available for consultations. The information for that is below. Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to add?
I think one of the things we learned on this particular project was really tight control of the budget. So every single thing that we purchased, you know, we really evaluated if it added value and, you know, where we would splurge and where we would not. And that made a big difference to the bottom line. And, you know, it all makes a difference in the long run. So that was another big lesson learned from this one.
Yeah, we actually learned also that, you know, one of the big challenges, or one of the big projects in some of the other projects that we'd done, was removing the ceiling in the basement. And we didn't have to do that in this particular case because we put the insulation in the flooring above, and it worked out perfectly well. So we put Sonopan on the floor, and that was something that saved a lot of work at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Thank you for being so generous in sharing this information. A lot of people are going to benefit from it. And again, once again, it's been tremendous to work with you. It's really great to have you folks, you know, with us at Sweet Additions and be part of the Rockstar community as well. I think that is just a win-win-win for everyone. So thank you again so much.
Thanks,
Grainne.
Thank
you, Gordon. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching this video. This was done in collaboration with Rockstar. So thank you so much to Anthony from Rockstar. I've been with Rockstar for like, I don't know, 12 or 13 years now. It's the one investment and real estate group that I'm truly, truly proud to be part of. So hope you enjoyed this video. And check out Rockstar, check out their Your Life, Your Terms event. When's the next one happening?
So the next Your Life, Your Terms event is Saturday, October 5th. Come out and check it out. It's gonna be in Mississauga. And if you wanna learn more about how we help investors and work with investors like Gordon and Grainne, who we've worked with for 12 years now, actually, since 2012, you can check out rockstarinnercircle.com. We have a free real estate investing class happening almost every month, and tons of resources, reports, free books, videos, just like this one, that you can check out if you wanna learn more. So thank you, Andy, for including me in your video.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Yeah.
Your life, your terms.
Your life, your terms. Better homes, lasting wealth.
Your life, your terms.
Your life, your terms.
To learn more about the Max Suite strategy, download our free guides at sweetadditions.com and get started. And if you enjoyed this video, here's another great one for you.